I left everything. I grew up in a broken trailer parked on the far edge of a dying town. You know, the kind of place where the paint peels off every wall, the floor creaks louder than your voice, and winters feel colder because there's no heater that works. Summers weren't much better. We'd sit around with wet washcloths on our necks just trying to breathe. My name's Alina. Not many people knew it back then. I wasn't the loud type. I was just another poor girl trying to make it through the day. We didn't have a lot, but we had each other. Mama worked 2 jobs, cleaning rooms at a motel and checking groceries at a rundown store that barely stayed open. Daddy was gone before I turned 9. He left behind a guitar and a pile of broken promises, and I don't know which one hurt more. I became the second parent in the house. I made sandwiches for my brothers, helped them with school, tucked them into bed when Mama came home too tired to speak. Some nights, I'd sit on the porch after they were asleep, just staring out at the dark fields and wondering if life would ever look different. School? I tried. I really did. But when you show up in the same 2 shirts every week and your stomach growls louder than the classroom clock, it's hard to focus on algebra. I used to sit in the back, praying no one would call on me. I didn't have the answers. I didn't have anything, except one thing. Hope. That stubborn, quiet kind of hope that lives deep inside the chest and refuses to die. I believed in something more. I believed that maybe, just maybe, if I worked hard enough, stayed strong long enough, I could give my family something different. Not riches, not luxury, just enough. Enough to stop counting pennies, enough to sleep without worry, enough to breathe. But hope gets heavy when it's all you're carrying. Some nights I'd cry into my pillow, afraid my dreams were too big for a girl like me. Afraid the world would never let me in. Afraid that maybe chasing something better was just setting myself up for heartbreak. Still, I kept moving. Even when I didn't know where I was going, because deep down, I was chasing something I couldn't name yet. After I graduated, I walked into the world with a heart full of fire. I had no savings, no fancy degree, just a small backpack, a head full of dreams, and a belief that hard work would open doors. I wasn't asking for luxury, just a shot. I filled out job applications like it was my full-time job. Every morning, I dressed up in thrifted clothes, walked miles just to get to businesses, smiled hard and asked, "Are you hiring?" I got used to hearing, "We'll call you," and never hearing back. After a while, the silence became louder than rejection. I cleaned houses where no one said thank you. I scrubbed floors for families that didn't see me. I waited tables for people who snapped their fingers like I wasn't human. I even set up a small table on the sidewalk, trying to sell the jewelry I made from leftover wires and beads I found in discount bins. But some days, I didn't sell a single thing. It felt like the world had a way of reminding me I didn't belong. My friends? They were building careers, posting graduation photos, vacation pics, apartment tours. I watched their lives through a cracked phone screen and wondered what I did wrong. I was still hustling, still broke, still hoping. My heart got tired. My hope began to feel like a burden. I started waking up late, or not at all. Some mornings, I didn't even open the curtains. I didn't want the sun to see me fail again. I stopped returning calls, stopped eating full meals. I'd sit in the corner of my room, head against the wall, asking myself if anything I was doing even mattered. And that's when the darkness crept in. Not just outside, but inside me. The kind of sadness you can't explain. The kind that makes you question if the American dream was ever real, or just something rich folks made up to sell hope to people like me. But even in that low, even in that darkness, there was this tiny part of me that whispered, Try one more time. One night, I sat in this tiny diner on the edge of town. It smelled like grease and burnt coffee, and the booth seats were torn and sticky. I had $5 to my name. Enough for a small cup of coffee and maybe a side of toast. I hadn't eaten properly in 2 days, but it wasn't the hunger that hurt the most. It was the feeling that maybe I wasn't meant to make it. Maybe all those dreams I carried inside me were just too big for a girl like me. I pulled out my old sketchbook, the one I always carried, filled with ideas. Candle labels I designed by hand, soap names inspired by memories of my mama's garden, slogans I scribbled when I still believed in something. I flipped through the pages, and somewhere between all the rejection and struggle, something just clicked. I didn't need someone to open a door for me. I could build my own damn door, out of grit, paper, and passion. I started going door to door in nearby neighborhoods. Some people turned me away, some never even opened their doors. But a few smiled, a few listened, and a few bought a bar or two. That's all it took. I reinvested every single dollar. I skipped meals to buy better molds. I stayed up late perfecting new scents. I cried in the bathroom some nights, but I didn't stop. Because for the first time in a long time, something was moving forward. Even if slowly. It wasn't magic. It wasn't luck, it was fight. Pure, messy, stubborn fight. And in that tiny corner of hope, I saw the first flicker of something bigger. Something real. Something that whispered, maybe you were meant for more. And that whisper carried me straight into the life I never thought I could build. It feels surreal when I look around at what I've built. I never imagined this life would be mine. There were days I thought the struggle would break me. I used to stand in front of my little kitchen window, staring out into the yard, and wonder if it was all just a dream. One that would slip through my fingers like the morning mist. But now, I see it clearly. I've made it. And more than that, I've found who I really am. I run a small but growing business now. My candles, the ones I made in my kitchen late at night, are sold in stores across the country. When I see my products on the shelves, it's like looking at the proof of every sacrifice I made. It's not just the money or the success that makes me proud. It's knowing that I built something from nothing. Every day I wake up to emails from customers who tell me how much my candles have brightened their homes. It's a humbling feeling. The best part? I hired my mama. For so many years I watched her work herself to the bone, trying to keep us afloat. Now she's a part of the business, a part of my dream. She's in the studio with me, smiling as we work together, and I think back to those long nights, when we had nothing but each other. We dreamed of something better, and now here we are. We're living in a real home, not the rundown trailer I grew up in, but a place where we can stretch out, where we can feel safe. The heat works. The walls don't leak. We have space to breathe. Leaving everything behind was the hardest thing I've ever done. I left my small town, my old fears, my sense of comfort. But in leaving all of that, I found myself. I found my strength. I found my voice. I found the belief I needed to keep going, even when everything seemed stacked against me. I learned that the American dream isn't about waiting for luck to knock on your door. It's about not quitting when everything else tells you to. If you're feeling stuck, if you feel like you're on the edge of giving up, remember this. Success doesn't come easy, but it does come to those who refuse to quit. Keep fighting, keep believing in yourself, and one day, you'll look around and realize that the dream you thought was impossible is now your reality. Thank you for listening to my story. If you found inspiration in what I've shared, I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to English Story Point for more stories of hope, dreams, and resilience. Keep going. Your journey is just beginning.